G'day guys, welcome back to the farm on Farming Simulator 22, the Start From Scratch series. We're now in September, so we'll just do a quick check up on everything up at the yard here. So it looks like the canola is being produced very well, and we'll leave that in stock until the time comes that we need to sell it. And we've got a pallet of fabric over here that we need to move over to the tailor, and that way we can keep the clothes being produced. We are out of cotton now, I believe, so we are only really relying on the wool, which isn't enough, so we're not going to have much clothing to sell when that time comes, but that's alright, doesn't really bother us too much. September, so it's going to be grape production today, or grape harvest, should I say. That's the main job for us to do. So we're going to have to rent the grape harvester, which is going to cost us roughly 15,000. So in the previous episode we purchased all this new land here. So we've got these two fields of sugar beet and this area that I'm sitting on. We'll get a plow from the shop later and we'll plow that area up and get that ready for a new field next season. But we need to go and get ourselves a grape harvester right now. Well, here we are in the grape harvester. It's pretty much exactly the same machine as the olive harvester, apart from it isn't, because I don't know why you can't use both machines to do exactly the same job, but it is what it is. It costs us 15,000 to lease this, and we're only really going to need it for about 30 minutes of work, if that. So the grape vines are we've got quite a lot more than we do with the olives, and the olives we're definitely running at a loss. Hopefully here with the grapes we can produce a little bit more and actually turn a small profit. That would be good, but we will be keeping everything as stock for ourselves. I was trying to get a screenshot there. We will be trying to keep everything as stock, and we will put it into the grape processing factory and be keeping the raisins that we get from this. Wow, there we go, we've got pretty much a full harvester already, so that's a good sign. We've already filled that up, which means we should be getting quite a few loads out of this. I would expect at least 3 loads perhaps, which would be very good for us, obviously. The more we get out of this, the better. If we don't turn a profit this season with the grapes, then this field here that we're driving into, then we'll probably extend the vineyard down into there and actually make it worth our while. But we'll just park this trailer right here, and then every time we come down, hopefully we're going to be full. Not every time, but every time that we are full, we'll just come down and spin this around, and we can tip this into the special trailer, which only holds grapes for some reason. I don't know why that is. I suppose it's a new feature of FS22 to have grapes, so might as well make all the equipment only suitable for grapes. And it looks like this trailer is actually going to hold quite a bit, so we should be able to get everything that we harvest from here into this trailer. Let's fill it up a little bit, I suppose. But yeah, we've only run down 4 rows there, 3.5, 4 rows, so we should end up with quite a bit out of here. Is it this row that I've used? No, it was this one to my right, which we are about 60-70% harvested on. We just need to run up there a little bit and finish that, and we'll just continue on. So we'll have to purchase the grape processing plant after this, so that then we can get processing on the raisins. We don't have to come very far up this one, but we're just going to plow on through may as well reverse back and start fresh on a new vine. And we'll just get this process done, and then we'll see what we're ending up with, and hopefully it's going to be enough to actually turn a small profit today. Well, we're just coming to the end of it now, just on the last couple of small vines that we have here, and this is the third harvester load. So we've had 2 full loads and 1 part load. So we've actually done quite well. I was expecting a little bit more. I'm not really sure what numbers I was expecting. I was hoping for a lot more, because I know what we get from the olives is only about 3,000 litres. So we've just done a little bit more than double of that with the grapes. So we'll see how... I'm not stuck here. I just about got it. So we'll see how much we actually get in terms of raisins. And I think we get grape juice as well. So you would think that you would squeeze the juice out of the grapes. Terrible driving here. Took that corner a bit too fast. Yeah, so you would think you'd squeeze the juice out of the grapes and you would get the grape juice, and then you would be left with the raisins. I'm not sure if that's actually how it works in the game, because it says you get an X amount of grape juice per grape and X amount of raisins per grape as well, so I'm not sure if it actually takes it into account that you would process it the way I just said, or if it processes it 2 times separately, if you know what I mean. But that's the grape harvest finished, so we can return this harvester. Put barely any time on it at all. So that's cost us quite a bit of money, but that's okay. That's what it is. And we will drive this on up, and we will purchase ourselves a grape processing unit. So we've got 7,466 litres of grapes, so that is not too bad. Pretty happy with that. Like I said, we can extend the vineyard in the future. This is just enough to get us started, just to see how much we're actually gonna, or how much we actually need to process for the year when it comes to the raisins. That's what we're after, because we want that for the cereal factory. And we'll probably have to think about planting some corn, but that's what the new land is for. We can decide what crops we're going to put in there. So up here on the right is the grape processing unit, which you can purchase on the map. But I've already kind of got a industrial estate happening up on one of my fields, so I think I might skip this, and I'll just go and plonk one down on our new land, on our old land up here, and keep that kind of business area happening, because it's a bit more convenient if everything's in one spot, and that's where the forklift is, so best to just keep everything together. But pretty happy with that. It's not, I don't know if it's going to break any boundaries with the amount of raisins and stuff we're going to be producing, but we'll just have to see how it goes, take it year by year. And the main thing is that we have a good start on a grape vineyard, and we also are going to have the building for it, so it's just going to be a case of extending it as and when we need to. So we'll just park up here quickly, jump into construction, and we're going to go productions, factories, and we'll look for grape processing somewhere around here. Not the oil mill, grape processing unit here. Where's a good spot for it? Maybe turn it like that. Put it fairly close to the greenhouses. Not too sure if I want to go too close. We don't want to be too close to one of them, because we have to get the pallets out of there still. But we have ourselves a new production building on our land. 80,000 that's cost us. It's left us with 49,000. So money is getting a little bit tight. We've still got a couple of things that we need to lease for the next harvest, so we can dump these grapes into here, and we can go and activate the unit. That's weird, I didn't know it would tip out like that. Okay, well, that's fine. So we can activate the raisins, Yeah, so raisins is 1 to 1 and grape juice is 5 grapes to 4 juice. But like I say, I don't know if it's actually going to process it in that way or if it's going to take it out of the reserves, and it's the raisins that we really want. So I think we'll just leave it as raisins for now. When we extend the vineyard, then we can think about maybe grape juice. But we may as well just park this trailer up here because that is done with for this year. And then we are going to go and hire ourselves a plow, and we're going to go over to our new plot of land, and we are going to get a head start on ploughing that up. And wow, that corner's pretty nasty. But yep, we'll get a plow, we'll get down to the new land, and we'll see what we're going to happen, see what we achieve down there today. Well, here we go. We've got ourselves a plow, and we are at the land, and we are going to pretty much just extend this field that's on my left here, and we're going to extend it as far to the right as possible. I've got the biggest plow that I could get for the tractors that we have. Couldn't go any larger than this, unfortunately, because I just don't have the tractor for it. And this will do the job. It's going to be a big process, but it's only time, isn't it? I can get it done. I want to get as close to these sugar beets as possible, but I'm trying not to destroy the crop. Kind of looks like that tire on the plow is actually taking one row of crop away, but that's okay. It's a big enough field. We're going to get heaps of sugar beet out of there anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we go into it just a little bit. So we'll start off with a perimeter, and then we're going to come all the way and plow up all of this land and have that ready as a new field. And then when we harvest that sugar beet, this is going to be one massive field, so that'll be very good. And then the other sugar beet field to our right, we will just leave that as a small field for now until we buy the fields around it, and then we can merge those as well. But this extra amount of land here is going to give us a huge amount of new crop, so we'll get this job done and hopefully we'll see what it looks like after that. And we're just coming to the end of the ploughing now, just trying not to take this row of sugar beet out. It was doing quite well until then, as I say it. But wow, we're pretty much finished. We've managed to extend this field by quite a margin, pretty much almost doubled in size, I would say. So let's take a look at it from above. Well, from above then, you can see that we have ourselves a huge amount of ploughed up land, and I would say pretty much doubled the size of that crop there. So next season that will be a whole new field of something. I'm not sure what we'll put in here just yet, but we're going to have to put a coat of lime over what we've just ploughed up and fertilize it, but we'll focus on that after the harvest of the sugar beet. And we have this little field over here. It's not really that small, but it's very small compared to what we have over there. And that field there, we'll probably purchase that and merge these two fields and end up with another larger field. So we've done quite well here today. So looking at the calendar, looks like we've got to do the sugar beet tomorrow, and also the olives tomorrow, and the sunflowers all in October. We could probably do one of the sunflowers or the sugar beet in November, but we do want to get the planting of the wheat done today, otherwise October and November are going to be very busy, and seeing as we're not really that busy today, might as well get this field planted out, and then we don't have to worry about doing that, because tomorrow is going to be another busy day. We're going to have to do the olives for sure, and then we're probably going to do the sugar beet first, because I think that's a very long job. It's a very slow job to do. So we should have enough seed in this machine here to finish this job off, so we'll get started with that. We'll go and start down here across the bottom end of the field. I'll get a couple of runs done across there, and I'll go up and down the two edges as well, and then I'll probably just leave a worker to do this. And there's probably some other odd jobs around that I can do, so I can probably jump into one of the other tractors and do some of those smaller jobs, but it's good to get this planted out and ticked off. Eventually we'll probably need to get ourselves a larger wheat field eventually if we're going to extend the chickens. Not really too sure how I feel about that. I think chickens do provide us with quite a good income, and we don't really want to get too greedy with it. We don't want to exploit the chickens too much. Well, just coming to the last of the tricky parts for the worker, so they can continue on from here. I'll get this field planted out today. I'll go and have a little look in a minute just to see what other jobs there is around the farm that we can do. I'll probably need to do something for the cows. They always need something. They do bring in some money for us, so they're worth keeping on top of. But as of this, we can now just let the worker run away and continue to plant this out. He should have more than enough seed to finish the job, so we'll let him go, and we will just check that we are planting wheat. We are, and he's doing a good job, so we can leave him to it. Now down at the cow farm, we'll have a quick look here. We do have a feed mix already made in the feed mixer, so we'll see if they need any of that, and if they do, we'll top them up. Might as well top them up to their full capacity anyway. See what else they need, so we can leave that to... Oh, they don't really need much really, but we'll let it run. So the grass will be ready to harvest probably in another day, well, next month. Cows look pretty decent really. They've got everything they need. We do have some silage here which we could sell. I think we're pretty good for stock of silage. Now we've got some milk that we're going to have to get rid of as well, and it looks like they could do with a little bit of a top up of straw. They do have enough in there to last, and we've got plenty of manure, plenty of slurry, so that's good. Fertilizer doesn't cost us anything, so they're taking quite a bit of this feed, but they shouldn't take too much more. And then we'll just put whatever's in the straw shredder, we'll throw that into the mix as well, and that'll keep the cows happy for a couple of months, and then we don't really have to babysit them anymore after that. So we just need to back the mixer out. I learned this mistake before. I've been blowing straw in and the feed mixer was in the way, so it just blew all the straw straight into the feed mixer instead of into the cow shed, and then I ended up with a big pile of straw that I couldn't do anything with. There's not much in there, but they can have that. That will leave them with some extra bedding, and we'll come and top that up again in a couple more months' time. Other than that, down here we're all good. We'll have to spread lime over this field. We can get rid of that plow now. We don't need that anymore. We are done with that. So the next day we're going to be harvesting this sugar beet, both of those fields. I think the cows, the chickens are all good for feed. This guy's cracking onto it. So he's all good. And clothing, how much have we got? 4 pallets worth of clothes. Not really that much else in stock, but that's alright. 40,000 there. Canola's almost finished being produced. Yep, so that's all good. And the grapes, they've actually made half a pallet of raisins already, so that's pretty good. So I wonder how much or how far that's all going to go for us. Greenhouses have got plenty of water. Everything's looking good. So what about up here? Everything's all good. Probably need to get rid of some of this machinery as well. Put all that back where it needs to be at the end of the day. This guy can crack on. Sorry mate, we're blocking your way. So we've got weeds growing and we won't be doing any rolling. That's all good. Not really anything in the sales for us today. We don't really have the money for it anyway right now. So I think we'll call that a day. Next episode we'll be harvesting the sugar beet and the olives, and then after that we'll be harvesting the sunflowers, and then it'll be winter, so we're just going to be into making sure that all of our fields are prepped up, ready for the next planting season. Maybe selling some more products and possibly extending the grapevines. We'll see how that goes, if we need to, and how much money we actually bring in over the winter. But for the rest of it, I think that's pretty much us done for today. We'll get this field planted up and we'll get the weeding done, and we'll maybe do any fertilizing that needs to be done as well. So leave a like and a comment on the video and subscribe if you're new around here. Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.